Have you ever heard a story that just, I don't know, like sends chills down your spine?
Oh, yeah.
The kind that like makes you wonder, about the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of like everyday life?
Oh, absolutely.
We're diving into one of those stories today.
Okay.
The case of Denise Huber.
All right.
Imagine going to a concert with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
enjoying the music, the lights, the energy,
Right.
and then just like that,
Yeah.
vanishing without a trace.
Wow.
That's what happened to Denise back in 1991.
Okay.
For 3 agonizing years, her family searched relentlessly,
Mm-hmm.
clinging to the hope that they would one day find her.
What's truly baffling about this case is that the key to solving Denise's disappearance came from a completely unexpected place.
Really?
A stolen truck,
Interesting.
thousands of miles away in Arizona.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder that sometimes the truth can be hidden in the most unlikely of places,
Mm-hmm.
and justice can arrive through the most unexpected turns of fate.
It's almost like something out of a movie, isn't it?
Right.
You think you're looking in one direction,
Yeah.
and suddenly the answer appears from a completely different angle.
Yeah.
So let's rewind back to 1991.
Okay.
Denise Huber went missing after a concert in June.
Mm-hmm.
Her car was found abandoned on the side of a freeway,
Right.
but there were no signs of a struggle,
Mm-hmm.
no witnesses,
Wow.
no clues to point investigators in the right direction.
So the police were essentially working with a blank slate.
Oh, wow.
They followed up on every lead, every tip,
Right.
but each one seemed to just evaporate into thin air. Can you imagine the frustration and anguish
Oh, yeah.
Denise's family must have felt?
Yeah.
Years passing,
Mhm.
birthdays and holidays marked by her absence,
Right.
the constant worry and not knowing what happened to their beloved daughter.
It's heartbreaking, especially when you consider that the answer was out there all along,
Right.
just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah.
Fast forward 3 years, and a woman in Arizona notices something strange.
Okay.
A Ryder truck parked near her home.
Interesting.
It just seemed out of place.
Yeah.
Something about it didn't sit right with her.
Mm-hmm.
She trusts her gut feeling,
Okay.
jots down the license plate number,
Mm-hmm.
and reports it to the police.
Okay.
Turns out the truck was stolen.
And this is where the case takes a dramatic turn.
Good.
The truck is traced back to a man named John Familaro.
All right.
When the police search the truck,
Mm.
they make a chilling discovery.
Oh, wow.
A chest freezer,
Okay.
and inside the remains of Denise Huber.
Oh, my gosh.
After 3 years of searching,
Right.
her family finally had an answer.
You're right.
But it was an answer shrouded in tragedy and horror.
It's hard to fathom the emotions her family must have experienced at that moment.
Right.
Relief that Denise had finally been found,
Yeah.
but also the devastating realization that she was gone
Mm-hmm.
and the person responsible for her death was still out there.
The discovery of Denise's body was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
The investigation into John Familaro
Yeah.
revealed a dark and disturbing side to this seemingly ordinary man.
Wow.
The search of his home in Arizona was like stepping into a nightmare.
Oh, gosh.
The house was crammed with clutter, boxes stacked floor to ceiling,
Yeah.
a labyrinth of possessions.
Wow.
But amidst the chaos,
Oh, yeah.
investigators unearthed a treasure trove of evidence
Really?
that painted a horrifying picture of what happened to Denise.
It's almost unbelievable the sheer volume of items they found in his house.
Mm-hmm.
I read that they cataloged over 100,000 items.
Yeah,
It's mind-boggling.
it is.
Yeah.
And what's even more unsettling is that among those items were boxes labeled Christmas.
Oh, wow.
It's almost as if he was trying to mask the darkness he was concealing with a
Wow.
veneer of holiday cheer.
Wow.
Inside those boxes,
Mhm.
investigators found a horrifying collection of Denise's belongings, her
Okay.
wallet,
Okay.
her checkbook,
Yeah.
her car keys, even her lipstick, all stained with blood.
It's as if he was trying to systematically erase her
Right.
piece by piece.
Mm-hmm.
It sends shivers down your spine thinking about the level of calculation and depravity involved in such an act.
The investigators also found the clothes Denise had been wearing the night she disappeared.
Really?
Her dress,
Wow.
her jacket,
Okay.
her shoes.
Mm-hmm.
The dress was torn,
Okay.
and her shoes had deep scrapes,
Real.
suggesting she had been dragged, perhaps struggling to break free.
Wow.
And then there was the murder weapon,
Okay.
a blood-stained hammer,
Wow.
a chilling reminder of the brutal violence that ended Denise's life.
The details are just so disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another layer to this story that's even more unsettling.
Okay.
The police uncovered a collection of newspaper clippings
Right.
and a videotaped TV segment,
Yeah.
all meticulously saved by Famularo. And they all focused on Denise Huber's disappearance.
It's a chilling pattern of behavior we see in some criminals.
Right.
The need to hold on to trophies,
Yeah.
souvenirs of their crimes.
Yeah.
It suggests a disturbing fascination with their own actions, a need for control,
Right.
a desire to relive the power they exerted over their victims.
It's almost too horrific to comprehend.
Yeah.
And to think he was living a seemingly normal life,
Right.
hiding this darkness beneath the surface. This case really makes you question how well we can ever truly know someone.
Right. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? The idea that someone capable of such horrific acts could be living among us, blending in with society.
Right.
Their true nature masked behind a facade of normalcy.
It's terrifying.
This case really underscores the importance of listening to and believing survivors of abuse.
Oh, absolutely.
Their stories, their experiences can
Yeah.
offer crucial insights into a perpetrator's patterns of behavior,
Right.
potentially preventing future tragedies.
Absolutely. If those who knew Famularo had spoken up, if their warnings had been heeded,
Yeah.
perhaps Denise's fate could have been different.
Exactly.
But often these warning signs are dismissed,
Right.
ignored, or
Yeah.
minimized. We need to create a culture where these voices are heard,
Absolutely.
where survivors are believed and supported.
You're right. And it's not just about individual responsibility.
Yeah.
It's about systemic change, about creating a society where reporting abuse is encouraged and met with a swift and appropriate response.
Right.
Now shifting our focus to the legal proceedings,
Okay.
with the mountain of evidence stacked against Famularo.
Yeah.
You might think his defense strategy would be limited,
I would think so.
but you'd be surprised.
Oh, I'm all ears. What was their approach? Did he confess or try to explain away his actions?
Famularo's initial defense was audacious, to say the least.
Oh, wow.
Especially considering the overwhelming evidence.
Yeah.
His lawyer attempted to argue that the case was entirely circumstantial. They claimed there was no concrete proof that Denise had been taken against her will,
Wow.
despite the evidence found at Famularo's home,
Yeah.
despite the condition of her remains.
Circumstantial. With DNA evidence, her belongings,
Right.
and even a potential murder weapon found at his residence. That seems like a stretch even for the most skilled defense attorney.
It certainly was.
Wow.
The prosecution, on the other hand,
Okay.
presented a meticulous and compelling case.
Okay.
They detailed the likely scenario of Denise's kidnapping,
Yeah.
the brutal assault,
Mm-hmm.
and the calculated length Famularo went to conceal her body and evade capture.
Right.
They even highlighted the scuff marks on Denise's shoes,
Really?
suggesting she had been dragged, struggling against her attacker.
Gosh.
It was a powerful counter-narrative to the defense's flimsy claims.
And what about the DNA evidence?
Yeah.
Did that play a significant role in the trial? I know DNA technology was still relatively new in the legal system back then.
Yes. DNA evidence was still emerging as a forensic tool in the early 1990s.
Right.
But it played a crucial role in this case.
Okay.
The prosecution presented evidence of semen found in Denise's body,
Wow.
which matched Famularo's DNA profile.
Gosh.
This irrefutable scientific evidence linked him directly to the crime,
Right.
dismantling any remaining doubt about his involvement.
It's almost inconceivable that even faced with such compelling scientific evidence, Famularo and his defense team still maintained his innocence.
Right.
What other tactics did they employ? What was their defense strategy?
As the trial progressed,
Yeah.
and the weight of the evidence against Famularo became undeniable,
Right.
his defense team shifted their tactics.
Okay.
They abandoned the claim that Denise had gone with Famularo willingly,
Okay.
and instead attempted to argue that she had been intoxicated
Right.
and had made a poor decision to get into a car with a stranger.
Wow.
Essentially, they tried to shift the blame onto Denise,
Yeah.
implying that she was somehow responsible for her own tragic fate.
That's appalling. Victim blaming is never acceptable.
Right.
Regardless of whether she had been drinking it, in no way justifies or excuses what happened to her.
Yeah.
It's a classic example of trying to deflect responsibility away from the perpetrator and onto the victim.
You're absolutely right. The prosecution fiercely countered this argument, reminding the jury that Denise's car had broken down in a well-lit area close to her parents' home,
Yeah.
with plenty of options for assistance.
Right.
They argued that it was highly unlikely she would have chosen to get into a car with a stranger under those circumstances.
Right.
It was a desperate attempt by the defense to create reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
But the evidence against Famularo was simply too overwhelming.
It sounds like the prosecution built a very strong case,
They did.
leaving little room for the defense's arguments to gain traction. So after all the legal maneuvering the testimonies, the evidence presented, what was the jury's verdict?
After weeks of intense proceedings, the jury deliberated for just 5 hours before reaching a verdict.
Okay.
They found John Famularo guilty on all counts: first-degree murder, kidnapping, and sodomy.
Wow.
It was a victory for justice, a moment of validation for Denise's family and friends,
Right.
though it could never truly erase the pain of their loss.
So in the end, justice was served.
To a certain extent, yes.
Yep.
The guilty verdict provided a sense of closure, of accountability for the horrific crime that had been committed.
Yeah.
But the scars of such a tragedy run deep,
Right.
and the healing process for Denise's loved ones would undoubtedly be long and arduous.
What was Famularo's sentence?
Given the brutality of the crime and the overwhelming evidence against him,
Right.
the judge sentenced Famularo to death.
Oh, okay.
During the sentencing phase, Denise's family and friends had the opportunity to deliver victim impact statements,
Okay.
sharing their profound grief and the devastating impact Denise's absence had had on their lives.
I can only imagine how emotionally charged those moments in the courtroom must have been to face the man who had taken their beloved Denise from them and to pour out their pain and anguish.
It was a raw and powerful display of the human cost of such senseless violence.
Yeah.
The courtroom was filled with emotion as they spoke of Denise's vibrant spirit, her kindness, and the gaping hole her absence had left in their lives. It was a stark reminder that behind the legal proceedings,
Right.
behind the evidence and arguments,
Right.
there were real people whose lives had been irrevocably shattered.
But even with the guilty verdict and the death sentence, there's a lingering question, a chilling thought that emerges from the randomness of Famularo's capture.
Right.
It was a stolen truck, an observant citizen, a stroke of luck that led to his arrest. It makes you wonder, could there be other victims out there?
It's a haunting possibility,
Yeah.
one that underscores the importance of vigilance, of trusting our instincts,
Right.
and of speaking up when we see something that seems amiss.
Yeah.
A simple act of observation like that of the woman in Arizona who reported the stolen truck can have profound consequences,
Right.
potentially saving lives and bringing justice to those who have been harmed.
It's a powerful message, a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a safer world.
Absolutely.
We often underestimate the impact of our everyday actions, the ripple effect they can have. But this case demonstrates that even seemingly small acts, like reporting a suspicious vehicle,
Right.
can have far-reaching consequences.
And it also serves as a stark reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places,
Right.
disguised behind a veneer of normalcy.
Yeah, it's scary.
We need to be aware of the warning signs, trust our gut feelings,
Yeah.
and be willing to speak up when something doesn't feel right.
It's a sobering thought, but an important one. We can't afford to be complacent.
Right.
We need to be vigilant, not just for our own safety, but for the safety of our communities as well.
Yeah.
The Denise Heber case is a tragic reminder that even in seemingly safe and familiar environments, danger can lurk.
Right.
And we all have a responsibility to be aware and to take action when necessary.
You're absolutely right. It's a collective responsibility, a shared commitment to creating a world where such tragedies are less likely to occur.
Yeah.
We need to support law enforcement, advocate for policies that protect victims and hold perpetrators accountable, and most importantly, foster a culture where speaking up is encouraged and where survivors' voices are heard and believed.
This case raises so many important questions, not just about the specifics of the crime itself, but about the broader societal issues that contribute to such tragedies. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of evil, the complexities of human behavior, and the fragility of life.
And it also highlights the resilience of the human spirit,
Absolutely.
the unwavering pursuit of justice, and the power of community in supporting those who have been affected by such horrific events. Even in the face of unimaginable loss, Denise's family and friends found the strength to persevere, to fight for her memory, and to advocate for a safer world.
Their story is a testament to the enduring power of love and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of times, hope can emerge and justice can prevail. It's a story that stays with you, isn't it?
It is.
The twists, the turns, the sheer randomness of it all.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that even the most ordinary day can take an unexpected turn.
Right.
That danger can lurk in seemingly safe places, and that justice can arrive through the most unexpected avenues.
You're absolutely right. The Denise Huber case is a stark reminder that we can never truly predict what life will throw our way.
Yeah.
It's a reminder to be present, to be aware of our surroundings, and to never underestimate the potential impact of our actions, no matter how small they may seem.
And it's a testament to the dedication of law enforcement.
Right.
Those individuals who work tirelessly behind the scenes, pursuing justice, even when the trail seems cold.
Absolutely.
Even though the initial investigation hit a wall, they never gave up on finding Denise. They followed every lead, every whisper of a clue, and ultimately their persistence paid off.
It's true. Their commitment to solving this case, their refusal to let it fade into the background, is commendable.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, perseverance and a steadfast belief in justice can make a difference.
The Denise Huber case is a tragedy, a story that highlights the darkness that can exist in the world.
Right.
But it also offers a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
A testament to the strength of the human spirit.
Absolutely.
The dedication of law enforcement and the impact of everyday citizens taking action.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a safer world.
Yeah.
We can be vigilant, trust our instincts, and speak up when something seems amiss.
Yeah.
We can support law enforcement and advocate for policies that protect victims and hold perpetrators accountable.
Right.
And we can offer compassion and support to those who have been impacted by such tragedies, helping them navigate the long and difficult journey of healing.
So as we reach the end of this deep dive, what are the key takeaways?
Yeah.
What can we learn from Denise's story, from the investigation, from the trial, from the ripple effects that continue to emanate from this case?
I think there are several powerful messages woven into this story.
Okay.
First and foremost, it's a reminder to trust your intuition.
Yeah.
If something feels wrong, it probably is.
Right.
Don't dismiss those gut feelings. Report suspicious activity, even if it seems minor.
Right.
You never know what impact your actions might have.
It's about being an active participant in our communities.
Right.
About looking out for one another and about recognizing that even seemingly small actions can have far-reaching consequences.
Exactly. And secondly, this case underscores the importance of believing survivors of abuse.
Absolutely.
Their stories, their experiences are invaluable in understanding patterns of behavior, identifying potential threats, and preventing future tragedies. We need to create a culture where survivors feel safe to come forward, where their voices are heard and where they are met with support and validation.
It's about shifting the focus from blame to understanding, from silence to dialogue, and from isolation to support.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that every voice matters and that speaking up can be an act of courage and empowerment.
And finally, this case reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. There are people who dedicate their lives to seeking justice, to protecting the innocent, and to bringing comfort to those who have been harmed.
Yeah.
Their efforts, combined with the actions of ordinary citizens, can create positive change in the world.
Absolutely.
Pushing back against the darkness and illuminating a path toward healing and restoration.
It's a powerful message of resilience, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit, and the unwavering belief that even in the face of unimaginable loss, hope can emerge, justice can prevail, and healing can begin. The Denise Huber case is a story that will stay with us, a reminder to be vigilant, to be compassionate, and to never give up on the pursuit of a safer, more just world.
And that, I believe, is the most valuable lesson we can take away from this deep dive.
We'll be back next time with another deep dive into a compelling and thought-provoking story. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. Remember, even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect, creating positive change in the world.